Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre, and as per usual, we're going to start this show off the same way we start every episode off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million things with your time, so the fact that you choose to spend it with us truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cutting, me loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
All right, and we're back. Okay, today's going to be a fun one. As you guys know, I don't introduce my guests. I let them do that themselves because they can do a better job. So on that note, can you please tell everybody at home who you are and what you're about?
My name is Thomas Finn. Me and Elliot met at a gaming night that we had a little event at Earls.
Yep.
And towards the end of the night, I made a fresh batch of dry ribs, and these guys were just pigging out over it. So I just came over, and I'm like, hey, does the food reviews. I remember you did something with Mitchell's Cafe.
Yeah.
And, I just thought that I'd say hello.
Yeah.
Now I'm on the show, so this is fun.
There you go, man. So let's talk about Earls.
Yeah.
So what do you do at Earls? What's your official role there?
I am part of the leadership group. I am a night coach, and overall, I just kind of shut the restaurant down. I kind of take a little bit of charge and do call finish. I do a little bit of grill.
Okay.
And we got a lot of new people, but we would like more people to come in. So if you want to apply, we would love to have you, and I'll take you under my wing. I'll personally train you on whatever station we can get you on.
So I have never worked in a restaurant or a kitchen, nothing.
Okay.
So what you're saying to me is complete
a little foreign
Greek.
Okay.
So I thought, and sorry, at home, I know that there's waiters. Mm-hmm. I know there's cooks. I know there's the front people in the desk that hostess, thank you, and bartenders. And I know okay, there must be a manager of some sort. That's as far as the hierarchy in a restaurant goes to me. Mm-hmm. Please explain your role.
I've worked in many different restaurants. I started at Mitchell's. That's why when I first saw, I was just kind of nostalgic over it, and so at the restaurant I'm at, it's casual fine dining. So we do have specific stations. Apps, Forno, top end, pans, woks, all that good stuff.
Okay.
But it's kind of structured like any kitchen, like paramilitary organization. You have the regional chef, head chef, then it kind of sous chefs and then divvies down from there.
Right.
I find that it's a lot like a tank crew.
Okay.
You're very close with the people that you're working with day to day, every single day.
Okay.
And there is a little bit of us versus them mentality where you really just want to promote camaraderie as much as you can. And it's really tough getting through some of these nights, but sorry, let's restructure the question.
Yeah, no, that was good, man.
Okay.
I'm learning. So
okay.
You've outlined that in the kitchen, there's not just cooks. It's an assembly line worth of individuals, and everybody has their hierarchy and their rank. 100%. So I didn't know that. I figured there was I watched the Food Network, so I knew about. Go on, Tanner.
Have you not seen Ratatouille?
I've never seen Ratatouille.
Best food movies out there.
No,
love it.
But I've seen Chef. I love the movie Chef. So
Chef is good, but you haven't seen Ratatouille?
No, I haven't.
That is a problem.
I'll see it. I'll watch it this weekend. Is it that good?
You got it. Yes, it's that good.
It's the fine details of the movie that I really appreciate.
Okay.
Just like Remy, when he gets into the kitchen, immediately he falls into the dish pit, into the recruit station, and that shows you that you have to be clean when you come to work.
Right.
You have to make sure that your hands are washed and rats are dirty.
Yeah.
So it's just little details like that I really appreciate.
Okay. And it definitely shows the entire hierarchy of how a kitchen works. There's that one scene where
they're going through the list.
Yeah, where they point out.
Yeah, I killed the man with this thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch this movie this weekend. It's a cartoon. I'll watch it with my little boy. He'll obviously love it. Okay, so let's backtrack in regards to how did you get into this? Now you're working at Earls now, but Mitchell's before. What's your journey in food?
Okay, so we can go to journey in food a little while later, but the story of how I got into Earls was just a buddy of mine seeing me on the street.
Okay.
Walking my daughter down the street, and he's like, "Holy crap, man, you have a little sister?" And I'm like, "No, it's my daughter." And he's like, "You need a job?" And I'm like, "Uh-huh, yeah, let's do this."
Right.
So he's like, I'll get you into Earls. And I'm like, fantastic. Earls was a little daunting because it is like casual fine dining.
Yeah.
Every single time I've just been like sandwich joints, food trucks, bistros. I worked in an Italian restaurant. I've worked some other really crappy places that I'm not going to mention because let's be professional and all that.
Okay.
But when I started at Earls, it was just, wow. It was like, okay, let's get thrown into the fire. And I got sat down by my general manager, and he's like, steaks have been messing up a little bit. Can you cook a steak? And I'm like, I worked in a meat department. I can cook a steak. And I got a base knowledge of these cuts. And
right.
Like, okay, that's all I need to hear. Don't fuck up. And from there, it was just thrown into the fire, and
away you go.
Yeah.
I want to go on record. Earls is my favorite restaurant. Like, hands down. Like, I have different restaurants that I like certain different things, but Earls is the best. Like, everything, in my opinion, I compare to Earls. And everything should just be called Earls, really. Like, if somebody's like, oh, do you want to go to Moxie's? I'm just like, describe the restaurant you're going to. I always describe it as like, yeah, it's basically Earls.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, the gold standard, from like the burgers to the steaks to the appetizers. Like, you guys crush it at Earls, hands down. So
it really does come down to that teamwork, though, because I describe kitchen work as a dance. The flow of the kitchen on a perfect night, if I can put up a steak at the same time that dry ribs and whatever, and a full combo are put up at the same time, if we're all coming out at the same time.
No worries, man.
Coming out at the same time, I will say we're dancing.
And
when we're dancing, that means that the kitchen's flowing and everybody's doing their job and everything is dancing.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, a little small steel town in the middle of the Great Lakes region of Ontario.
And so what got you here to Fort McMurray?
My mother is a school teacher.
Okay.
And so there wasn't any work in Ontario, and she was like an EAP teacher, like early kindergarten kind of stuff. And we came up to Fort McMurray without knowing where we were going to live. Like, she had a place rented out, but like we heard it through the radio. We heard it through somebody saying something. We knew there was work there, so it was just kind of like, okay, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
It was. I don't get to talk about that very much, but it was very scary.
Oh, no doubt. And how long ago was this?
9, 10 years ago.
You a Greyhounds fan?
Greyhounds?
Yeah.
I don't really know much about sports, but I do know Greyhounds.
The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
I know.
So how old are you?
13, 12.
Okay, so wow, that would have like that. Those are like your years where you're trying to figure some stuff out. You don't have a friend group because you just moved here. What school did you go to?
I went to Holy Trinity Catholic High School.
Okay, how do you like Holy Trinity?
Actually, the first person that ever said hello to me, John Higdon, he's a great friend, and now I got him working at Earls, so it's like
nice.
I got him and his brother, and it's like two of my oldest friends are working with me every single day.
We just filmed, nobody's seen it yet, but we filmed like 11 episodes at Holy Trinity a few weeks back. I think this week or next week they'll start coming out. But yeah, that's a cool school. Like, it didn't exist. I grew up here. That did not exist as a school growing up, but it's something else. Like the theater, the gym. Always look at the library that's like encapsulated in glass. I'm like, what is this? Like X-Men?
I got a story for you. So it's a theater school.
Yeah.
And the English class, I was always in like the lower grades. I wasn't super good at school. I kind of got like a learning disability at some thing. Hard at reading.
Yeah.
But I love theater. My dad's an English major, developmental psychologist, and he was really big on theater, and he just always promoted that. So
cool.
They were showing Hamlet. I think it was the guy that's like to be or not to be. That was a question and stuff. And kind of a sad story. I have a base memory of it, but not too much.
Yeah.
And Benedict Cumberbatch was starring in this theater performance that they were just playing on the screen. I skipped class to go watch this all day long, just watching theater. And after that, I decided I'm going to go out on a little meditative walk. I'm going out to the cliffside, out by Thickwood, past the ballpark.
Right.
There's like a peninsula. So if you don't really know what I'm talking about, if you're not from Fort McMurray, there's a cliffside, a little makeout mountain, and a straight cliff, rapid waters. It's beautiful out there. I used to meditate on this one specific spot that's not there anymore due to erosion.
Right.
But it was like a little drop off, a little patch that you could sit down, maybe as big as this table right here. And I would smoke a lot of weed and have my Beats by whatever headphones and I would just listen to music really loudly, and I'd just sit out there for hours.
Yeah.
So after school, I was doing that, and I had bear spray with me. So I get nervous because if anything comes, I won't be able to hear it because the music's so loud.
Of course.
So I take the safety off, I place it next to me, and I'm like, because of the weed, I'm a little bit paranoid. So
yeah.
my hand's always like jumping.
Okay.
And I'm nervous that I'm going to trip the bear spray and I'm going to fall off the cliff. And then the headline is, boy listens to Hamlet and then kills himself.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Had you ever encountered any animals while you're out there?
I did see a mountain lion.
Wow.
I just got a pair of glasses.
Yeah.
I went out on the trails, and by Cougar Trail, oddly enough, I
There's a reason they got that name.
Yeah, I could see them. And I thought that it was a deer at first. I'm like, deers don't have tails.
Right.
They don't have tails that are that long.
Yeah.
So I call the forestry department.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no. They've been spotted all the way in Saskatchewan due to the BC fires.
Wow. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like a little kid. I lived in the trails. Like, I toboggan in there in the winter. Like, in the summer, you'd walk through it. Like, biking. I just ran. I was a big trail runner. I lived in those trails. And then as I started getting older, I was just like, wait a second. There's a lot of animals in these trails. And I never took it for granted. I took it for granted is what I should say. And now as an adult, when I'm walking through trails, I'm just like very much more conscious. And the amount of animals that I've seen now that I'm paying attention when I'm in there is a lot. Mm-hmm. But as a kid, zero attention was paid. But yeah, if you're just sitting there meditating with headphones on, whoo-hoo, you wouldn't know what's coming.
They'll sneak up on you.
Oh, yeah.
We're in their living room.
That's right. That's exactly it. All right, Tanner just signaled to me that he's got his questions ready for the Mac City Minute. I don't know what he's going to ask you. Tanner, hit him with the Mac City Minute.
Alrighty, question number 1. What is your favorite thing that you cook?
At home, my favorite thing to make is broths and stocks. One day, me and my brother would love to open up a red sauce joint, and I would specialize in the soup of the day.
Question number 2. What is one dish you've tried that you strive to recreate?
I'll bring this up. I haven't tried to make it before
Yeah.
because I'm nervous to cook it.
What's this?
Tripe.
Oh, okay.
You know what tripe is?
Yeah.
Tanner?
Yeah.
Tripe?
It sounds like a fish.
Yeah.
I was landscaping for Daystar Church, which is an African church. And they had a multicultural day. So when I was finished, they invited me to come to their potluck. And it was dishes from all across Africa, cooked by all the aunties and uncles, nice homemade dishes. And the best soup I've ever had in my life, and I just mentioned I love soup, was a like a collard green, super spicy mushroom soup.
Yeah.
And I ate it. I'm like, this is amazing. The mushrooms have this beautiful texture. It's not too chewy. It's not gummy. It's just right.
Yeah.
I go up for seconds and I'm like, oh my gosh, you love this soup? I'm like, yeah, it was great. How'd you make it? It's like, well, you like tripe, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. And
Yeah.
then once I knew it was tripe, I couldn't eat the second dish. I
Right.
wanted a second, but I couldn't have it.
Right.
So I want to try to make a dish like that soup where you just love it and you love it unconditionally.
Yeah.
And you might not know what's in it.
Yeah.
There might be pig's feet in there.
Yeah.
But I want to create a dish that people can just love unconditionally.
Yep. There we go.
Question number 3. What is the craziest order you've had to prepare?
Craziest in like it's super busy and it's crunch time, or like I can't believe somebody's ordering this?
Whatever your definition is.
Okay.
I like it. Somebody with substitutions.
Craziest dish I've made. Sorry, I'm pausing. I
That's
just
okay.
want to give you a good answer.
Well, he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
There's a dish that I have cooked before. Oh, let's go.
I got kicked out of the taco truck one time. I was working at Viva Los Tacos. Beautiful. It's not there anymore, sadly. But
Okay.
Towards the end of the day, we got an order for 100 carnitas, which is just pork tacos.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the day, and like I was just some little white boy.
Yeah.
And he's like, Tommy, get out. Rodrigo
right.
called his friend from out of the crowd, and he's like, I need you to come in here. So unfortunately, I did not get to make 100 tacos in 30 minutes.
That's hilarious.
They got somebody with a little bit more background in it.
100%. 100%.
I love that.
They were speaking Spanish 24/7. And I'm like, polo? Chicken? Polo?
Yeah.
Polo?
Yeah.
I felt out of my element. Yeah.
Gringo.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Question number 4. What is your dream restaurant to eat at?
I'm sorry. Can I go back?
You can go back.
I'm a crazy home cook. Recently, I found prairie oysters at the meat shop in Thickwood.
Okay.
I've never made prairie oysters, but I decided, if you don't know what that is, that's bull test.
Yeah.
My fiance was in the hospital. We're having another baby, and she has some like health complications,
right?
Blood pressure.
Okay.
So when she was in the hospital, I got to cook everything I'm not allowed to cook when she's at home.
Right.
And I took the prairie oyster, I poached it very lightly. I took it out because I was worried that if I cut it open, it's just going to spew everywhere.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. They're sensitive.
So I lightly poached them. I sliced them. I marinated them in soy sauce, brown sugar, pomegranate juice, and probably some blackened seasoning.
Okay.
With some garlic and ginger. And marinated that for an hour and a half, sauteed it, made a stir fry. Prairie oyster, if you're into liver, has a subtle livery, bloody kind of flavor.
Okay.
But the texture is of pate.
Oh, okay.
It's not like liver. People have a problem with the texture because it's just off or whatever.
That's right.
But prairie oyster might be a good alternative if the texture's not for you, but you like the flavor.
High in iron too, I'd imagine.
Very high. And personally, I don't like a super irony flavor. I also cooked beef heart.
Yeah.
And that was delicious, but prairie oyster, too much like liver for me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, so
that counts as a crazy dish.
I'm gonna go off script here with the question. If you are willing to eat balls, why are you not willing to eat a second dish of a soup you've already decided you like?
That's a very good question. Again, it's the texture. Texture. When I knew it wasn't a mushroom, and I'm just chewing, I'm like, this is not a mushroom.
Yeah, fair enough. Can't argue with texture.
I like how you said, like, I'm going to go off script like we have a script.
I have 5 set questions, and that was not one of them, so it was a little off script.
All right, go.
Question number 4. What is your dream restaurant to eat at?
I miss Viva Los Tacos. I really miss Viva Los Tacos. Harley, Rodrigo, Stephanie. I work with Stephanie at Earls. One of the best. She's the morning lead, but she could easily be head chef or sous chef. No offense, Elaine. Yeah. Stephanie, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Viva Los Tacos was really awesome. Dream. See, I don't really. Sorry, I take it back. Maddie Matheson's Meat Plus 3, located in Fort Erie, Ontario.
Okay. That's a shout out.
Yeah. And your final question, what is your children's favorite dish that you make them?
Noodles and butter.
You can't
beat noodles and butter, man.
It's a solid dish.
Never had it.
You've never just put butter on noodles and then some shredded cheese and ate it?
Never had it.
Sounds like somebody has had wealth their entire life.
I've never had that. Anyways, good questions.
Those have been your 5 questions.
Yeah, I've never had it. That's a thing, obviously. You both have eaten it.
Yeah.
So you just take, like, you boil noodles.
Yeah.
You bring them out.
You drain them, yeah.
You put some butter. And once again, for everybody at home, I'm not a cook. So there's that. I've only recently started to cook in my late years. I
brown the butter. That's
I put a little bit of garlic salt sometimes.
And then you just let it sit. No. You mix it up.
Yeah.
And then you just eat it.
You put it in a bowl, throw some shredded cheese on there, and good to go.
That sounds delicious. I've just never had something that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's like a 5 to 10 minute snack. Okay. It's as long as it takes for the noodles to boil.
You know what I'm trying to cook, but get good at, which it's impossible to. Well, I don't want to say it's impossible. The movie Chef, that grilled cheese sandwich that he makes.
Easy.
Oh, I've been trying to perfect it. And every time I cook it, it's
Parm, Gruyere, old cheddar, Harvedia.
Yeah, it's like $50 worth of cheese. When you buy it. I remember when I did, and my wife saw the bill. She's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Listen."
Yeah.
it's going to be worth it. And every time I cook it, it is worth it. But it never looks the way that they make it look. And I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, but I can't nail that sandwich.
It's probably because the one on the movie is like a movie prop to look good.
Oh, no.
Real.
That's real. 100% real.
And I've Choi, the food truck guy.
And I've seen him cook it with Jon Favreau on his show with Bill Burr. And like they cook it and it looks like it's supposed to look. A lot of cheese, I think 5, like you said, a lot of butter and sourdough bread.
Support 2 or 3 of them and just really give your money to them because people are struggling. It's going to get hard, and in the next 10, 20 years, I can imagine it's going to get harder.
There we go. Good shout out. All right, well, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
I said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.
So ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.